Yes, yes, yes. It's Raphael Dawkins with the Combat Radio. And we are live. Okay, so without much further ado, let's get into this thing. We're here for a good time, not a long time. But how can we have a good time? Excuse me. How can we have a good time if we don't get the fight we want and it's looking shaky? It's looking shaky, and we are going to have to talk about it. What am I referring to? Well, okay. Tyson Fury, in an interview today by ESPN, comes out with some very, very worrying statements. And where is it? I should be able to pull that shiznix up. Let me go over to Twitter. I got multiple sources. for the shiznix. Did I even like this thing? Where are we? Oh, boom, boom, boom. Let me bring this up. Start sharing that. Let me stop sharing that and start sharing this before we go into the article. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so let me get that damn it. I just closed the damn window instead of opening it, but it's okay. It's okay. Let's go into it again. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, let's get that a little bit bigger so we can see exactly what we're looking at. And let me share that with you so you can see for yourselves. Let's have a look how that's looking. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, so Michael Benson wrote, reputable reporter, we can call him. Let's get this mic centralized. We don't want Rafi echoing. Okay, so Michael Benson writes, Tyson Fury not fighting last December. It was just a big mess up. I should have boxed because I've been so inactive. By the time I fight again, maybe June, if Joshua fight happens, that'll be a year and 6 months out. Not ideal preparation for any super fight, is it? OMG. And you may be wondering, what does this refer? And this refers to an article, a report written by ESPN. And without much further ado, let us get into it. Let's get into the damn article. Where is it? Oh, boom. Okay, let's have a look. Is that it? Damn, it's a quick article. Okay. And let me close that ad down. An article with no picture. Okay. Well, let's bring it up regardless. Let's stop sharing that and start sharing this. Okay, so let's have a look. Can you see what I can see? Yeah, just about. Okay, let's get into it without much further delay. Okay, so this is written by the reputable reporter Brett Okamoto of ESPN staff writer. Okay, and it reads, WBC heavyweight boxing champion Tyson Fury says he will absolutely fight twice in 2021, regardless of whether a mega fight against Anthony Joshua comes to fruition. Okay, so Fury has not stepped into the ring for over a year now. And as the anniversary of his sensational knockout of Deontay Wilder passed on Monday. Remember, we celebrated the Happy Wilder's Day. Remember that. The 32-year-old told ESPN on Wednesday that he is committed to fighting twice in 2020 after a potential trilogy bout against Wilder in December fell through. Okay. Okay, so the article goes on to say it was a big mess. It was just a big mess. I should have boxed. I should have boxed because I've been so inactive. I've been out for over a year. By the time I fight again, looking at maybe June, if this Joshua fight happens, that will be a year and 6 months out of the ring, which is not ideal preparation for any super fight. Okay, so what else are we going to say? What else do we going to say? Okay, so Joshua's promoter, he said, Fury says, they've had a full year to try and make this fight happen, said Fury. Since the last Wilder fight, even before the Wilder fight, they were talking about a fight potentially between me and Joshua. They've had a full year to make something happen, and it hasn't happened as of yet. It is what it is. We are no further forward today than we were a year. OMG. Was that a troll statement? Was that a troll statement? Was that the silver bullet? Was that the silver bullet? Was that the troll statement? OMG. Okay. I see Fight Doctor in the background. Gonna call him in a second. What's going on in the chat? Okay, I'll take a look in a second. Right about now, I am preoccupied with this Shiznix. Let me continue with this thing here. But hey, we've been talking about this. We've been talking about this for a couple of times now, a few times. And I think in the last show, over the last week or two, I have brought this up. I have said, doesn't Tyson Fury need more time? Does he not need more time? We've been talking about this regular. I've been bringing it up, or recently rather, not regular, recently. Just in one of our last shows. If it wasn't Monday show, it was the Friday show or the Wednesday show before last week. So we've been talking about this exact thing. But here is a little bit of a question mark. There's a question mark around this statement here, where Tyson Fury says, we are no further forward today than we were a year ago. Now, to me, that's trolling. To me, that is potentially trolling. But okay, let's continue. Okay, so the way the COVID-19 is at the moment, I don't think negotiations got much to do with the fighters. It's to do with the venue, date, place, site fees. It's to do with everything but the fight itself. And let me backtrack a little bit. Let me backtrack just a little bit. When Tyson Fury says we are no further today than we were a year ago. Was it not a few months? Was it not a few months ago? No, it was about a year ago. Yeah, wasn't it about a year ago? No, it wouldn't have been a year ago. Maybe 6 months. Wasn't it about 6 months ago when Tyson Fury blew up the spot of Daniel Kinahan when he said, we're there. Daniel Kinahan's made it happen. Daniel Kinahan's made it happen. Wasn't he celebrating, saying Daniel Kinahan made it happen? Was that about 6 months ago? Tell me in the chat. And okay, as we continue, let me just highlight this. And as a matter of fact, let me just take a look to make sure everything is ship-shape and Bristol fashion. The Fight Doctor in the building. The Fight Doctor, how do you do? Oh, Fight Doctor's moved away.
The Fight Doctor's in the house on Rick James status as always.
As always, okay. So let me just take a look, see. Let me look, see, do. Look, see, do. Let me have a look, see what's going on. Control the mic, please. Control your mic. Okay, the sound check is complete. Okay. What's this here? Let me have a look here. Damn. Okay. People populated the area nice and swiftly. Okay. I'll get into the chat very shortly. But first things first, let's have a look. Let's make sure we can get through this article. It's a very short article. As a matter of fact, we're almost there. Okay. So, next paragraph. Okay. whether it's in June or at a later date. Fury said the Joshua fight will come together at some point. Either way, he's looking forward to fighting twice in 2020. Or 2021, excuse me, as 2020 was the first year he returned to the sport after a break in 2018, in which he failed to fight more than once. Took a break. You see, okay, let me just address this right here and now. Let me just address this fallacy right here and now. The first year, it was 2020, was the first year he returned to the sport after a break. A break. Now, why did Tyson Fury have a break in 20 and come back in 2020? And how long was the break for? Well, the break was for around 2 years, 2.5 years. For those who don't know, can't assume everybody knows. 2 to 2.5 years was the break. And the break came immediately after Tyson Fury fought and beat what do you call him? Vitaly Klitschko, who was
Vladimir
Klitschko, who was the unified champion at the time. And yeah, so anyway, the reason, let's not beat around the bush. The reason Tyson Fury had a holiday, had a 2.5-year holiday, was because he had failed a drug test. He had failed a drug test after the Christian Hamer fight. Popped dirty. And he should have been suspended then. But he was allowed to carry on somehow. I don't know, bureaucracy. I don't know if bureaucracy kicked in, but somehow he's allowed to continue on. 2015, later on in 2015, after he fought Christian Hamer and got popped dirty, he was allowed to fight Vladimir Klitschko, who was unified champ at the time. Shouldn't have been in the ring with him, but he fought him. They allowed him to fight him, and he won. However, shouldn't have been in the ring. Should have been suspended for 2 years. So that, as well as the Christian Hamer fight, should be ruled a no contest. Should be ruled a no contest. But for whatever reason, it was allowed to stand, and Tyson Fury stepped away from the game because he knew he was going to get publicly humiliated when it was revealed that he had failed a drug test, a PED test, after the Christian Hamer fight. So rather than go through the ignominy of that, Tyson Fury slipped away, and he did a very good job, because to this day, a lot of people don't know the reason Tyson Fury stepped away was because he was trying to hide the fact he was hoping it would go away. They could do something behind the scenes, around the back door, and make the thing hush down, let the thing calm down and hush down. And he was largely successful. He was successful to a large extent, because a lot of people I talk to now still don't know that Tyson Fury popped dirty. I was talking to a kid the other day, and told him about it, and the kid said, Are you sure?" Pulled out his phone. That's the beauty of modern technology. Pulled out his phone and Googled it, and he said, "OMG." Said, "OMG, Rafi, you're right. So the people know about this. How come I didn't know about it?" Because it's a well-kept secret outside of boxing.
Can I ask a quick question?
You can go ahead and ask a quick question. Indeed. Have you introduced yourself yet?
Yes, Fight Doctor's in the house on Rich James status, as always.
Okay.
Have we established that Tyson Fury is not above cheating? Have we established that?
I think so. I think that's clearly established.
Okay, so now in that context, can we re-examine the Deontay Wilder rematch?
Can we? Yes, we can. We can indeed. But before we do that, let's just finish off the article, and then let's come back and let's come back and do that. Okay. So we just got a couple of paragraphs to finish. So let's finish it. Finish him. Okay. So 2020. There we go. That's the 2020 thing in which he felt. Okay. All right. Fine. Okay. Last paragraph. Okay, so if that fight doesn't happen this summer, it's got to happen sooner or later, Fury said. Let me say in Fury's voice. If that fight doesn't happen this summer, it's got to happen sooner or later. But Top Rank has to give me 2 fights this year. I will fight 2 times on Top Rank. ESPN. I don't care who it is. If it's not Joshua, we're looking to fight in April or early May and the end of the year. If it's Joshua, then June and the end of the year. Bang, bang. Damn. So 2021 is looking bright. Very, very bright. And there's no picture. There's no picture in the article. Okay, so let's come out of that. And let me come out of that accent. Stop sharing that and let's get into the shiznicks. Let's get into the shiznicks. Okay, so lead out. No, before we lead out, let's just have a look who is in the chat and what is happening in the chat. Okay, folks, as you know, follow the procedures. Kindly smash that like button if you're in here and you are enjoying the fare, which is being prepared for you. All you got to do is pull a seat up, get your popcorn out, put your feet up, and you're good. Okay, so link is in the chat, and Iron Kong is in the chat. How do you do, Iron Kong? Lisa Bayliss, the second time we've seen each other today. How are you? Hope you are well. Okay, Marla up in the building. How do you do from down under? Well, New Zealand, Southern Hemisphere, up in here. Okay, what's going on? What's going down? Breaking news. Wilder got Fury in the crosshairs. Joshua wants to fight. What? Fight TGE belt for the TGE belt. What does TGE mean? The greatest ever? What does TGE mean? The greatest ever? Okay. What's going on? Nanu. Mark calling Orson. Come in, Orson. Let's have a look here. That's the James Jameson. Okay, not looking good. We may see the fight pushed back to the end of the year. That's one possibility. Another possibility is that the Tyson Fury is playing his typical mind games. Okay. And H. Monet makes his second appearance of the year on the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. H Money, the controversial one. What's going on? Pigeon is in the building. Pigeon loves it. What's going on here? Tired of these fighters not fighting, but Fury must have a warm-up. You can't take... Well, hold on a second. Let's talk about that. It was Fury's fault. It's Fury's fault that he didn't have a warm-up. Fury was scheduled to fight. Who was he scheduled to fight in December? Not Deontay. He was another guy, some European guy. Fury was scheduled to fight in December. They did the math. Frank Warren came back with the paperwork, and Fury declined to sign. Said the money, the financial aspects wasn't right. So it's Fury's own fault. Why should we cater? Why should we push it back when he could have fought in December? Fury could have fought in December, and he opted not to. Is that our fault, or is it his fault? Where is this? Where is this little dastardly little imbecile? Where is he? Fee, fo, fi, fum. Where is he? Okay. Let's take care of this naughty boy. Boom. There we go. I think that's done. Yes, marvelous. Okay, the fight doctor. What as you were saying.
Well, I mean, we don't have to, beat a dead horse, but I think, and I'm going to preface this by saying, initially, after the rematch was over, I was very vocal about my criticism of Deontay Wilder's performance, his excuse, and his excuses and his actions post-fight.
Mm-hmm.
I did not want to hear any of those excuses, and I still don't want to hear any of those excuses, period.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? However, I think things should be put in their proper context, and certainly history, a fighter's history, should be considered. And I think we've established that Tyson Fury is not above cheating. So now this isn't to say that we have conclusive proof there was any foul play going on in the rematch. However, I think there is enough evidence where we can at least ask a question based on his history and based on what I saw from the left glove. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so you're saying that he may have cheated. You saw something wrong with the left glove, and he may have cheated. He might be a cheater.
The left glove looks as we know that there is no he might be a cheater. We know that he's a cheater.
Okay.
We know that.
Okay.
The only question that we have is, was everything with regard to Tyson Fury on the up and up in the Wilder rematch? That's the question. And right now, I think that question.
Is that the question?
I think that's a legitimate question. I don't know if it's the question, but it's a question for me, and I think the question is legitimate.
Okay. So before we get into that, that's all cool in the gamble. Before we get into that, we have to look at the question in hand. We have to look at the question in hand, and the question in hand is Tyson Fury gonna mess around and not take the damn fight in June or July? Is that what we're looking at? And just in case, just for those people who just come in, maybe I should just have the thing up in the background. Let me just have the article up in the background in case people don't know. Matter of fact, shut that down. Come out of that. Got a better idea. Put the tweet up instead because it's shorter and more concise. Looks better on the screen. Or is it? Boom, boom. That could have been a mistake. It's just as big. Okay, let me just bring it down a little bit. Uh-oh.
So, Rafi, while you're doing that, can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Interject for a second.
Go ahead.
So I think at this point, with regard to Tyson Fury and his future, we need to start reading between the lines and start asking some questions. Chief among them, what's taking so long? What's the impediment? What's holding him? What's preventing him from making his next fight? I think that's the question we need to start asking, and try to start reading between the lines to see if we can't untangle this mess.
What is the impediment? What is the impediment? Okay. Well, the impediment appears to be that Tyson Fury is now saying that he might not have enough time. He might not, there might not be enough time. He's had no warm up. I haven't had a warm up. There's not enough time. That's what he's implying. Now the question is, is that some baloney? Is that some baloney? Is it mind games? Is it mind games that the fella's playing? Is it mind games that the fella's playing? Is it mind games? And James Jameson comes through, makes the chat litty, and poses the question. Yes, it's a question for you, Fight Doctor. Has the Fight Doctor ever worn a pair of boxing gloves? On his question.
No. I have not. But at the same time, I've never smoked crack either.
Okay. And the correlation between the two is what?
I don't have to have ever put on a boxing glove to know when a boxing glove looks suspicious. Same as I don't have to have smoked crack in order to understand that it's very addictive and it's not conducive to a prosperous lifestyle.
Okay, I see. So the Fight Doctor very candidly says no. Very candid, no messing around. Okay, so what's going on? Who did I just see? Up in here? It's the Scythe Bud. What's he saying? The Zone trying to stretch the calendar out to keep subs. The Zone trying to. The Zone is Tyson Fury a the Zone guy? I don't think Tyson Fury is a the Zone guy, Scythe Bud. I don't think he's the Scythe Bud. I don't think he's the. I don't think he's with the Zone. He's with Top Rank. He's with Frank. What do you call him? Frank Warren and Bob Arum. He's with them guys. He's with them guys over there. So ain't nothing to do with the Zone. Okay, so where am I? Okay, so here we are. It's Tyson Fury now saying that he don't know if he has had no warm up. He's had no warm up. He's going to be going into the Joshua fight without a warm up. It is far from ideal. It was just, what does he say? It was just a big mess up. I should have boxed because I've been so inactive. By the time I fight again, maybe June. If the Joshua fight happens, that will be a year and 6 months out. And we were talking about that same damn thing. Just okay. James Jameson makes the chat litty again. Then I rest my case, my lord. It's nonsense. Subjective nonsense. Thank you, the Fight Doctor. The Fight Doctor, you have the right to reply.
I agree. Smoking crack is nonsense.
OMG, I think James. Okay. What's going on here? Okay, so let me drop that down just for a little second. Tyson Fury complaining about the fact that he won't have had a fight for 18 months if he fights Joshua in June. But I put it to you. So that's throwing people are asking questions. Are they going to fight at all? Tyson Fury's dropping hints that he's not going to fight. And that is one possibility. But I put it to you that there is another possibility. And that other possibility is, let me drop that down a little bit. What's this here? Okay. Yeah. The other possibility is that Tyson Fury, being Tyson Fury, he could be playing mind games. Mark Breland himself said that Tyson Fury kind of got into Deontay Wilder's head in the second fight, in the rematch. Deontay Wilder's head. Deontay Wilder, he was kind of all wound up. It could be Tyson Fury got in his head. I put it to you that there is a potential that this is yet just another Tyson Fury mind game. So we got the potential that it could be true, or the potential that it could be just another Tyson Fury mind game. And so what are we here? So before we go into anything any deeper, let's get your thoughts and observation on that particular question. Do you believe Tyson Fury is serious about potentially not fighting Joshua because he needs a warm-up? Or are you more inclined to believe that this is a mind game? Do you believe it could be a combination of the two, neither of the two, something totally different? The Fight Doctor, your thoughts and observations, please.
Well, so let's go by past history, right? So after he took the long layoff behind the Klitschko fight, he had a couple of tune-ups before he fought Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
Drew with Wilder, and then went and took two more tune-up fights before the rematch, correct?
When he came back, he took two warm-up fights, correct? Then he fought Wilder, which was a draw, correct? And then he had two more warm-up fights, yes. And then he beat Wilder, yes. I agree with that sequence of events. I can concur.
So now it's been a year, and he's been inactive Meanwhile, Joshua is keeping his tools sharp.
Yeah.
So I would say one or two things is going to happen, or one or two things is happening here. Tyson Fury is playing mind games. And if this is the case, he's playing mind games while Anthony Joshua is staying sharp, which does not bode well for Tyson Fury. Right? That's the first scenario. The second scenario is he's blowing smoke, which I think is the more likely scenario. Or that he indeed really does need a tune-up. And me personally, if it's true that he's been partying and hasn't been training and has lost his edge, while Joshua is keeping his tools sharp, then based on his past behaviors, then I think he needs a tune-up. But he's the WBC titleist now.
Yeah.
So the question is, who can he fight in a tune-up fight?
Who can he fight in a tune-up? Well, he had the opportunity for a tune-up fight in December. Who was that cat? I don't know if anybody's mentioned it in the chat. Who was the cat he was supposed to fight in December? I don't know if anybody's mentioned it in the chat right now. I'm posting this out to the Secret Society. Posting this out to the Secret so they can jump in. Oh, shizzle, my nizzle, shankle, my nanko. I posted it wrong.
So it's got to be somebody. Excuse me. It's got to be somebody, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it has to be somebody in the WBC's top 10.
Yeah, it's got to be so. No. The person he was supposed to have a warm-up fight in December. He was supposed to have a warm-up fight in December. And so my question is, why did he not fight his warm-up fight in December? I know why he didn't fight his warm-up fight in December. The reason he didn't fight the guy who was going to fight in December is because he came out. Did he come out and say something like the financial package? Something about the financial package wasn't right. Well, I tell you what, it wasn't all about the financial package. It was all about keeping your damn self sharp. It was not all about the bloody money. It's not all about bloody money, mate. It's about keeping your damn self sharp. Tyson Fury had the opportunity to keep his damn self sharp, and he was short-sighted. He was thinking about the money, and I got some theories on that. I'm wondering if he was embarrassed. By the figure he was being offered. He didn't want people to know what his market value was at that time. Pretty paltry, one would imagine, being in the COVID era. But hey, guess what? Joshua fought in December. No problem. But apparently this cat Fury, too good to take some short money. Was Fury too good to take some short money in December? Was he short-sighted? Said he wasn't going to take the short money, and now he's put himself in a fix. What's going on here? Let's have a look in the chat. The Fight Doctor, come back in.
So he's the WBC champion now, which means that he cannot go on this Bum of the Month tour that he went on prior to and post the first Wilder fight. He has to actually fight somebody in the WBC's top 10. Now, the WBC's top 10 isn't exactly a murderer's row, but they are at least. I think they're credible. I mean, I haven't looked at the WBC's top 10 at heavyweight recently.
Yeah, I'm going to pull it up in a sec. Yep. But the person was Ajit Kabayal. Ajit Kabayal or Takam. So it was going to be Kabayal or Takam. And Tyson Fury had the opportunity. But for whatever reason, he turned that up. He's turned his nose up. The money wasn't right. But it's not all about the money. Sometimes you say it's a bigger strategy. You got to look at the bigger picture. The bigger strategy. What was he saying? Yeah. And so, as you were saying, Fight Doctor.
So here's what I think, right?
Smash that like button, folks. Smash that like button, folks. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that share button. and all the other good buttons. Fight Doctor.
I think there are some facts that haven't been disclosed for the public
Okay.
that's holding up Tyson Fury from announcing his next fight. Now, I don't pretend to know what those facts are, but where there's smoke, there's fire. And we've seen this guy all over the place in terms of what he's going to do next. He's been all over the place. And so far, it's been vaporware up until this point. You know, it's been a whole year, and you're doing nothing but getting older, while Anthony Joshua, quite frankly, is getting better.
Yeah.
So look, at 30 years of age, long layoffs do not do heavyweights any favors. All right? They don't. Now, that's true for any weight class, but I think it's especially true for heavyweights. All right? And in Tyson Fury's case, I think doubly so, given his history.
Yeah.
So Tyson Fury, honestly, he needs to clean out his nose, get out of the refrigerator, okay? Real talk, okay? Clean out your nose, get out the refrigerator, and get back to business. Okay, and never mind all this nonsense, this foolishness, never mind all of that. You are a fighter, fight.
Yeah.
Hire you the right business people around you to take care of your business, get back in the ring. There's a pandemic going on. So you're not going to make the same money you were making prior to. All right? Everyone has had to tighten their belt. And maybe that's more difficult for you right now because your stomach is bigger. But that's your own fault. Okay? So that's what Tyson Fury needs to get his act together. Right? Dude, if you've been out of the ring for a whole year, then the blame falls squarely on you. Period.
Yeah, he could have fought Caballal, declined to do so. So I don't really want to hear no crapola. I don't want to hear no crapola about, I need a warm-up fight. You could have had a bloody warm-up fight in December. You turned your nose up at it because the money wasn't long. Well, it's the COVID era, and it's on you. And I think, was there an embarrassment factor? Was there an embarrassment factor that, the finances would come out and it would be minuscule? Was there something like that? Was that a factor, Mr. Tyson Fury? I know you're listening. The link is in the chat. I know your dad listens regularly. I don't know if you've seen this, but if you are watching this, John, get your lad on. Get your lad on phone. Okay. Where are we here? Looking through the chat. Okay. Sold for, what's this here? No excuses. That's what I'm saying. He couldn't handle them. Defended nothing and never will. There's no excuses. Rafi did a northern accent. Hey, I've got a very good northern accent, mate. Very good. I learned from the best, Kevin Turvey. All right. So the key there is no excuses. There's just no excuses for me. There's no excuses. There was no legitimate reason for Tyson Fury to be out of the ring for what will be 18 months by June. There's no legitimate reason. He had the opportunity to fight in December and he declined. That's on him. That's on nobody else. That's on nobody else's fault but his. So yeah, no sympathy, no excuses. There's no way out. There's no way out. What are you going to say? Oh, I need a warm-up fight. No, you had the opportunity for a warm-up fight. You could have fought in the same damn month that Anthony Joshua fought, and that was in December. So I don't know what the problem is. There is no any problem that exists is a result of Tyson Fury himself. Frank Warren did his job. He got him a fight in December, and he declined. So what the hell else I can't do nothing for you, man. Nobody can do anything for you. You are not underprivileged. You are not hard done by. You yourself Tyson Fury made a poor strategic decision. And this poor strategic decision was in not fighting in December. That was Tyson Fury's decision. And now he's coming around complaining about it. Why people keep bringing up the flapping of in the second? Oh, I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. The writing's too quick for me to even follow along. Fury suffers from depression. It will make him go up and down like a roller coaster. Fury suffers from depression. It will make him go up and down like a roller coaster. Yeah. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. But his depression is helped by staying active, staying in the gym. So I don't know what to say about that. Stay active, stay in the gym. Excuse me. AJ stopped Klitschko. How many men did that? Hey, not many. Not many at all.
Wait, can I?
Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, knocking out Klitschko, that isn't some type of high watermark. I mean, Klitschko has been knocked out by people like Ross Purity. So, I mean, and Ross Purity isn't exactly a world beater. So I'm not sure how knocking out Klitschko is some type of, high accolade or feather in the cap of Anthony Joshua.
Well, you see, the thing is, Anthony Joshua had the cojones, had the stones, had the testicular fortitude to get in the ring with him, and he wasn't scared. Vladimir Klitschko, Dr. Steelhammer. A lot of people were scared of Dr. Steelhammer. Even Tyson Fury might have been a little bit shook. He was on some special meds. He was on some special meds when he fought, or immediately prior to fighting Dr. Steelhammer. So I don't know. Even maybe Tyson Fury was a little bit nervy. Maybe he was a little bit nervy. He had some stuff in his system. And your boy there, Deontay Wilder, he didn't want nothing to do with him. He wanted nothing to do with him as soon as he heard the name, Vitaly Klitschko. He just turned the other way. Start walking, change direction completely. Start walking in the opposite direction. So don't get it twisted. Vladimir Klitschko, where's his record? There it is. 64 wins, 53 by KO. He lost 5 times. 4 of them were by KO. What's the percentage there? He lost a minute percentage of times that he fought. 64 times. Look at that, 64 times. So if Vladimir Klitschko wasn't there, I don't think so many people would have been shook of him. But credit to the likes of Anthony Joshua, fought him, knocked him out. Credit to the likes of Tyson Fury, even though he shouldn't have been in the ring with Vlad. He shouldn't have been in the ring with Vlad. He should have been serving a drug suspension, but still, at least he got in there. And then credit to the Brian Jennings lost, unanimous decision to him, and that was in 2015. Kubrat Pulev, he got KO'd. Kubrat Pulev got KO'd in the 5th. That was a brutal KO in the 5th of 12 rounds. Alex Leopai got KO'd in the 5th of 12 rounds. That was 2014. Alexander Povetkin, you lost to Vladimir Klitschko, but that was one of the dirtiest fights on record. Vladimir just consistently fouled Alexander Povetkin. He looked like he was nervous of Povetkin, kept on pulling his head down, even throwing him down on the ground. Vladimir Klitschko should have been disqualified in that fight, and Alexander Povetkin be anointed or crowned the winner, because Vitaly fouled him every single round. One of the dirtiest fights on film. So carry on down. Francesco Pianetta, got knocked out in 6th round. That was in 2013 when he was actually had a pulse. Marius Wack. Oh, this is funny. This is very, very funny because people say, oh, Dillian White didn't knock out Marius Wack. Well, guess what, smarty pantses? Neither did Vitaly Klitschko when he fought him pretty much damn near 9 years ago. Is that 9 years now? Yeah, 9 years ago. So anybody you talking about Marius Wack, yeah, just bear in mind, Marius Wack is a sturdy fella. Ain't easy to knock him down. Okay, so David Hay, etc., Tony Thompson got a payday out of him too. Okay, so yeah. How did I get there? How did I get there?
Okay, so let's talk about Vladimir Klitschko, since you wanted to go there.
No, you went there. You went there. I think you went there.
No, I did not go there. I mean, I just brought up the fact that knocking out Vladimir Klitschko isn't exactly a high watermark, or shouldn't be considered a high watermark on somebody's resume.
Okay.
It's been done because look,
carry on.
It had been done 3 times prior to AJ having done it.
Mm-hmm.
And let's be honest, the guys who knocked out Vladimir Klitschko, none of those guys are going into the Hall of Fame.
The guys that knocked out Vladimir Klitschko, none of those guys are going into. What the hell are you talking about? He's been knocked out by Anthony Joshua, so he's a potential to the Hall of Fame. He was beat by Tyson Fury. He's a potential for the Hall of Fame.
No. In the context of what we're talking about, in terms of Anthony Joshua having knocked out Vladimir Klitschko, the 3 guys prior to Joshua having done the job, those guys, none of those guys are going into the Hall of Fame.
None of the guys who beat him prior to Joshua and Fury.
The guys who knocked out Vladimir prior to Joshua having done it. None of those guys are going into the Hall of Fame.
None of those guys are going into. So what?
Well, so I think that underscores my argument that knocking out Vladimir Klitschko should not be seen as some type of feather in the cap of Anthony Joshua. Because it had been done before.
It's always going to be a feather in the cap. It's always going to be a feather in the cap when you have other cats who ran scared of him, like Deontay Wilder. So it's always going to be a feather in the cap. Tyson Fury fought Vladimir. Control the mic, please. Control the mic, please. Tyson Fury fought Vladimir Klitschko. Anthony Joshua fought Vladimir Klitschko. Alexander Povetkin should have beat Vladimir Klitschko because Vladimir Klitschko should have been disqualified. That's Alexander Povetkin fought, what's his name? Fought Vladimir Klitschko. So you look at those 3 guys. And also, funnily enough, those 3 guys are also 3 guys that Deontay Wilder avoided. No. How many guys did I just mention? Anthony Joshua. Povetkin. Yeah. Anthony Joshua and Povetkin are 2 guys that Deontay Wilder declined to fight. There are also 2 guys who fought Vladimir, and one of them beat him. And maybe 2 of them should have beat him. I say 2 of them should have beat him because Vladimir Klitschko consistently and repeatedly fouled Alexander Povetkin. So both of those, so 2 of those guys also have something else in common. 2 of those guys are guys who Deontay Wilder didn't want to fight. Let's have a look here. Okay, the fight doctor has returned, but 1 second, please. 1 second. Okay, Wilder ain't no Hall of Famer. He's a disgrace to the sport. Dame. Why you say what you really feel? What do you say you really feel, James? James, keeping the chat litty for everybody who's just come in or who's come in, but they have not hit that like button. Then if you're enjoying the show, then please kindly do so. And what are we saying again? What else are we saying? Yeah, the like, subscribe if you have not subscribed, hit that share button. And if you want to go the extra mile and make the chat litty, then hit that super chat button. Or I keep on forgetting to tell people, because sometimes not everybody watches the fight live. Sometimes people catch the shows after they've gone live, and they're no longer live. Well, for you folks, in the description box, anybody watching after the live is finished, in the description box, you will find the PayPal link. So you don't have to be watching it live to contribute. You can also hit the PayPal link. You can hit the PayPal link at any time in the present or the future and make your little contribution. Make the chat litty contribution to the ongoing, continuing thing called Boxing Talk with Rafi on the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. Okay, so the Fight Doctor has returned. So, yeah, thinking about it. Povetkin. He should have been awarded the fight against Vladimir Klitschko. Now I think about it, because he was fouled in every round. So Povetkin, there's an argument to say that he should have won that fight by the disqualification of Vladimir Klitschko. So Povetkin arguably should have won. Anthony Joshua did win. And those, incidentally, are two fighters that Deontay Wilder hasn't got.
Can I interject for a second?
If you want, you can go. It's your turn.
So I watched the Vladimir Klitschko Alexander Povetkin fight, right? And let me preface that by saying that I've always been I've been a Lennox Lewis fan, and I was an Emmanuel Stewart fan. I was a Thomas Hearns fan.
And a Larry Holmes fan.
I'm a huge Larry Holmes fan, right?
Huge.
So, I'm a fan of guys who use the jab and like to box.
Yeah. But
then at the same time can, kick it into that next gear and put a guy down and out.
Yeah.
And that's sort of like the common theme between that particular group of fighters: Larry Holmes, Lennox Lewis, Tommy Hearns, and Vladimir Klitschko. You're looking at guys, who had a good to excellent jab.
Yeah.
In Holmes' case, an all-time great jab. Okay.
Yeah.
But then who also had the ability to take out the garbage. I mean, listen, I may be critical of Vladimir Klitschko, but I'm going to give credit where credit is due. And when Vladimir Klitschko, especially under Emmanuel Stewart, when Vladimir Klitschko chose to let his hands go, he packed quite a wallop in the left hook and in the right hand.
He did.
I mean, you didn't want to get hit flush by Vladimir Klitschko by either hand, because his left hook was as deadly as his right hand. No, and don't get it twisted. If he hits you with the left hook, you will be out, period. Okay? But my main problem with Vladimir Klitschko, listen, it's not a crime to have a China chin. Okay? Thomas Hearns had a China chin. But never did that detract him from his mission, which was to seek and destroy.
Yeah.
Okay? Thomas Hearns came to take care of business. And the man had a heart as big as a whale. And we saw that in the Hagler fight. It was war.
Yeah.
And the man came to do battle. And losing in the manner that he did, no shame. No shame.
Yeah.
Vladimir Klitschko, on the other hand, I mean, given all of that power, given a good jab, just refused to let his hands go.
Yeah.
And that fight with Alexander Povetkin and Tyson Fury and many other fights where he refused to let his hands go were shameful. And I would say, and listen, Povetkin was no better in that fight because I
think he was better. He wasn't fouling, was he?
Well, listen, at the end of the day, you have to come. Klitschko wasn't the champion at the time, but he was the house fighter. He was the money fighter. He was the A side.
Yeah.
Okay. So he gets the privileges. He gets the benefit of the doubt.
Well,
You are the undercard.
Carry on.
Right. You are the undercard. Okay. I'm sorry. You're not the undercard. You're the B side. Right. So listen, politics exist in boxing. And for us to pretend as if they don't, well, we're doing ourselves a disservice. I mean, let's be honest. Okay. Now, we may not like the politics of boxing, but they exist and they're there. So you have to recognize and you have to adjust and act accordingly. So if you're Povetkin fighting a Vladimir Klitschko who has the politics riding in his favor, well, what do? You come and you have to emphatically state your claim, make your claim, state your argument, which did not happen in the Klitschko fight. It did. So I would be more, I would be more adept to believe that they both lost that night. Neither one of them deserved to win.
Neither one of them deserved to win.
Because I did not see Alexander Povetkin coming to win that fight. I didn't. Just as I thought Klitschko's performance was abysmal, I could say the same for Povetkin.
Same for Povetkin. Well, Povetkin, yeah, you can say that. Povetkin was being fouled all night, so it was very difficult to get in his rhythm. I think Vladimir was concerned. It's very obvious that Vladimir was concerned, pulling his head down all night, holding, grabbing, punching on the break, all kinds of fouls. So I think I'm the first person I've ever heard say this, but as an argument to say, Vladimir Klitschko should have been disqualified from that fight. And if Vladimir Klitschko is disqualified from that fight, then the picture, what an interesting scenario that would have been. Very interesting scenario indeed. Okay. So many comments. It's hard to keep up, so I can't really keep up with the chat today. Protection is so sad. Stone. As a matter of fact, hold on a sec. Where is this cat here? If you got nothing constructive to say, my friend, then maybe you should just jolly well jog on. You know who you are in the chat. You know who I'm talking to. There you go, Mr. Jones. Off your pop. Yeah, nothing but a negative energy, Mr. Jones. Get out of here. So where we say, Mr. Jones says, generally speaking, AJ fans are losers. Well, you're the one who's coming in here every show talking a lot of nonsense. So doesn't that make you the loser, Mr. Jones? It seems pretty damn clear who you are. You're the loser. Get the hell on up out of here. Okay. So what else is there to say about this? Okay, let me make sure I've covered all the bases because we're here for a good time, not a long time. Okay. So Tyson Fury. Let me change up this shiznix. Tyson Fury's talking about, oh, I might not have enough time. But he's had ample amount of time. And he turned down a fight because I think he was embarrassed about the small money that he'd be getting. The small money he'd be getting from the Kabayal fight. I thought he was embarrassed. It was a strategical move and it was a bad strategy. I think Tyson Fury is now talking about, for those people who have just joined, Tyson Fury is now talking about, oh, I don't think I've got enough time. You've got the exact same amount of time as Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua fought in December. You could have fought in December. You chose not to fight in December. That's on you, Mocha. That's on you. Let me enlarge that damn picture there. Where are we? Boom. Let's get it. Oh, is that as big as it can get? Dime. Yeah, so that's on you, lad. What else? You came out bragging and boasting that Daniel Keenan had made the fight. Oh, Keenan's made the fight. Thank you, Keenan. So what are you talking about now? It's a load of poppycock. You could have fought in December. same time as Anthony Joshua, but you messed about, didn't you? You messed about because you was going to be getting a couple of mil. You was only going to be picking up a couple of mil to fight Caballal. You didn't want people to know. You didn't want people to know. You thought he was embarrassed. You was embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? You was embarrassed. It's ridiculous. That's the only explanation I can find, because otherwise, as a professional, you should have been fighting Caballal in December if you didn't want to fight Wilder. You didn't want to fight Wilder. He's come out with a load of crapola, so you didn't want to fight him. I understand that. But then you could have fought Caballal in December, same time that Joshua was fighting. And Joshua kind of changed the game, because remember, Deontay Wilder was supposed to be fighting in October, and then they pushed it back to December. When was that? What fight was that? Anyway, I can't remember. Somebody can tell me in the chat. So now December, because Joshua fights in December, now that's like the Joshua date. So now you got guys like Wilder pushing their fights back to December, so it gets more visibility. They want to rub shoulders with Joshua. You got guys like Fury pushing his fight date back to December, because they want to rub shoulders with the Joshua, just telling it like it is. Let's not beat around the bush. Wilder saying he's the king, but Joshua's not adjusting his fight dates to meet Wilder. Fury's saying he's the king, but Joshua's not moving his fight date so he can rub shoulders with Fury. Nah, it's pretty obvious, folks. It's time for the truth. It's time for the truth. I'm sick and tired of these cockamamie little whatever kind of boys.
Well, I think
a load of shiznicks, but yet they're kind of trying to push up on Joshua, trying to rub shoulders with Joshua, changing their fight dates so their fight date will be closer to Joshua's. Yeah, it's kind of really funny. Yeah. The fight.
I think Joshua is the draw. So any delusion.
Joshua is the what?
Joshua is the draw.
Yeah, the draw. Okay, yeah.
So I think any delusions that Fury would have of, making any types of dictation in terms of, whatever the policy or whatever the stipulations are going to be, I think he should reconsider his position, because from my point of view, Fury needs Joshua a whole lot more than Joshua needs Fury. I don't think Joshua really needs Fury, to be completely honest. I think he needs him in terms of his historical significance. But in terms of his ability to generate income, he doesn't need Fury. He doesn't. I mean, honestly, I think you could make the argument that however big the Fury-Joshua fight would be, if Deontay Wilder can come out of retirement, knock over a tomato can, look good doing it, a potential Joshua Wilder fight would be as big or bigger.
A potential what?
I think that if Wilder can come out of retirement, knock over a halfway decent contender and look good doing it, that a potential Joshua Wilder fight would be as big or bigger than a Joshua Fury fight. That's what I think.
Joshua Wilder could be as big as Joshua Fury. I mean, Joshua Fury. It's an interesting proposition. The only problem with that is that Deontay Wilder has turned down every offer from Joshua, every single offer from Joshua. So I don't know if anyone. So listen. The reason I time you out, fella, is because you're talking pure rubbish. What value are you adding to the chat? You're coming here in person. I bet you. Hold on a second. I gotta bring that one up. In person, I bet. Oh, in person, you bet. I'm. OMG, you are a total imbecile and a clown. You are an imbecile and a clown. The only reason I leave you in here is because I hope that one day you'll come up with something. And is that one day I hope you come up with something intelligent, something original. And I'll give you so many chances. I've given you so many. Listen, oh my gosh. Listen, bro. You're an idiot and a fool and a punk. Yeah? An idiot, a fool, and a punk. Yeah? The only thing soft about me is what's soft about me is my what's
Right.
soft about me? What's soft? I'm trying to think about something soft. The only thing
You have a
soft
soft
about
spot in
me,
your heart for Anthony Joshua. That's what that is. That's
the
it.
only thing that's soft about me is my hair, my friend. Okay. So So, I gave you so many chances hoping that you'd entertain me, you'd amuse me, you would entertain the chat. And then you kind of did sometimes, but you're just a straight damn fool, fella. So don't get it twisted, Mr. Jones. You're just a straight damn fool. And now you push the boat just a little bit too far. You know what I'm saying? And now you got to guess to get the hell on up out of here permanently. You ain't amusing. You ain't funny. And like I told you before, the only thing soft about me is my hair. Whereas you're probably just a marshmallow from head to toe. That's just the truth, bro. No hard feelings, but get the hell on up out of here. You got nothing to offer. Okay. Yes. Oh, you want a link? Okay. Jalik is in the building. Let's drop that link up in there. Let's get this link up in here. Okay, so what was I saying? Yeah, so the problem is, Fight Doctor, is that Deontay Wilder has turned. Listen, Deontay Wilder don't want to fight hard hitters, hard punchers. He didn't want to fight Povetkin. Yeah, he flew over. Excuse me. He flew over to the UK as soon as he heard there was some adverse finding. Boom, he was back up out of there. He was back up on his back up in the plane, back over to Alabama. That's Povetkin. He steadfastly refused to fight Dillian White. Steadfastly. Didn't want nothing to do with Dillian White. He steadfastly refused to fight Anthony Joshua. Now, what do those three guys have in common? Alexander Povetkin, Dillian White, Anthony Joshua. What do they have in common? He set aside all of those guys. And then turned to a Tyson Fury. Just come off a 2.5 year hiatus, drug ban, 2.5 year drug ban, and then what? And then comes back, fights a couple of bums who were soft like Mr. Jones, soft like blancmange like Mr. Jones, and then all of a sudden, Deontay Wilder's ready to fight, and Jalik, the leader, is up in the building. Looks like he's floating. I don't know what's going on. Looks like he's floating. Looks like Jalik's floating. Looks like he's on. How you doing, Jalik? What's going on?
What's popping, man? I appreciate the chat. It's just enjoying the weather. It might be a lot of noise.
It ain't too bad. Carry on.
Ain't too bad. Yeah, you know what? I thought the fight might get made, but then when I'm hearing it keep getting delayed, it's kind of crazy. Now, the thing about Tyson Fury, he plays a lot of mind games. So he could be working out while it look like he's fat, or you don't know him. He always, 1 minute he says one thing, the next minute he does another. The same thing with the rematch with Vladimir Klitschko. So I really don't know, because the weird thing about it, Charles Martin turned down the mandatory shot to fight Michael Hunter. So why would you turn down a mandatory shot to fight Michael Hunter? Now, Al Haymon must have said, look, we're going to get you Deontay Wilder, but if Charles Martin has Deontay Wilder, why isn't Tyson Fury taking the fight with AJ? So is it the Kinahan situation, or is it not? He just don't want to lose, or just what else is going on? See, that's the part that's throwing everything off. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, what was
I'm confused.
What was the last thing you just said? What was the last thing you just said?
I'm just confused. The thing that made it real confusing is the fact that Charles Martin, Wilder's alleged opponent, turned down the fight to fight for the IBF Mandel against Michael Hunter, which he actually has a chance against Michael Hunter. So I don't know. It's confusing.
It is confusing, and we have a special moment in the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio history, we have our first female on the panel ever. I hope this is the real Lisa. I hope this is the real Lisa. Lisa Bellis, is this you?
Yes.
Wow.
What's good, Lisa? What's poppin'?
Wow.
What's going on, everybody?
We've never had a lady, Lisa. I don't think you know how important this moment is. We've never had a lady.
Wow.
We've never had a lady on the panel since the inception of the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. I just want people to take a moment to absorb the enormity of the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Right? Yeah, she always supports.
So I see Lisa everywhere. She's in various different places with various different ragamuffins, but she's never come on the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio.
Yeah, I love boxing. I love boxing. I love you guys. You guys crack me up so much.
Hey, we're here to absolutely. We're here to entertain you.
Nice to talk to you, Fight Doctor. Yes.
Yeah. Is it nice to talk to the Fight Doctor? Is it nice to talk to the Fight Doctor, Lisa?
Yeah. I enjoy you guys together.
Okay. Pause. Okay, Lisa. So come with it, Lisa. What's on your mind? Well, we know what's on your mind. Talk
I'm
to me.
starting to see a pattern here with Tyson Fury. Like he did it with Vlad, with Wilder, and now possibly this. So, and don't get me wrong, he's a great fighter and technician in that ring, but I've always called him a con man, me personally.
Oh, Fury?
Yeah, I've always kind of peeped that about him, but like how he came back with the lineal thing and all of that, and then all the confusion about that. And he kind of beats to it. He basically beats to his own tune and do what he want to do. And everybody else has to kind of follow the rules. Right, and everybody, right, and he gets away with it, and everybody else has to follow the rules and all of this shit. And I'm not buying that bullshit. I know a con when I see one.
Yeah. So, what do you think?
I wasn't born yesterday.
Big girl.
Nobody else in any of the divisions are talking about lineal, and lineal is very important. Don't get me wrong, but nobody else is that, and he used that as a selling tool, a marketing, and that's how they did it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's stupid. I've been around a long time. I know about boxing. I mean, I'm still learning about it, but come on, like it's not nothing new to me.
Klitschko,
but this is some bullshit. This is some straight bullshit because people are getting tired. Boxing is on its last legs. People are getting tired of waiting for these fights that we really want to see, and that we grew up watching, and it's becoming a fucking joke, man. Oh, I'm sorry.
For real. It's okay, Lisa. It's your first time. You're just getting used to the Raphael combat on the panel. So that's cool. So do you think, Lisa, do you think that Tyson Fury is serious, that he's seriously concerned that he hasn't had a warm-up fight, or do you think it's some more mind games? Or it could be a combination. It could be any combination. What's on your mind? You feel?
Well, I think if I follow the pattern from Wilder, he did kind of have another tune-up fight or whatever. I think it was Otto Wallin and the other guy where he was moving off the ropes. I forgot his name.
Tom Schwartz.
And and in that way he was able to get that. He needed that. Basically, when he came to the U.S., he needed that a Bob Arum or somebody to back him up.
Yeah.
He needed that pull here in the U.S. He didn't really have it the first fight, but at that time he wasn't really with Top Rank or ESPN or whatever.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
He needed those big people to back him up,
Yeah.
Bob Arums and the ESPNs, and if you notice every fight that you watch on ESPN, they always show that clip of him and Wilder. I don't know if anybody ever noticed that.
Which clip?
the clip where he won. You ever notice? You ever watch like a lot of the ESPN fights? I mean, the top ranked fights, and they always kind of show, or they'll put in there something about Fury. So they've been really marketing him.
Okay. They've been really pushing Fury. So you probably just answered it, bro. I was looking in the chat. I didn't get what you said. What do you feel is the motivation, the root and the motivation of Tyson Fury casting doubt, talking about he hasn't had a warm-up, it's going to be 18 months. Do you think that he genuinely feels that way? Do you feel that it's just mind games? You probably just answered that question just a second ago, but I was looking through the chat. So
I mean, you know, with him, you don't know what to expect. And see, I don't have time to be as a fan. You know, I don't. You got your personal. We all got personal issues. You know, he's not the first person that has depression and I'm not saying to like knock that or to put him down or whatever, but everybody got something they're fighting against, you know, and it could be very inspirational to people, don't get me wrong, but he can also use it. He's manipulative in how he uses it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just calling a spade a spade.
Yeah, I noticed that. You're right, Lisa. That's how he is. He's real manipulative and he's charismatic. He's like those preachers. He's like those preachers that, you know, those charismatic preachers that get you to spend all your money. That's how Tyson Fury is. It's a gift.
Yeah.
But it catches up to you after a while. With the internet is a little different because more people can watch you and comment on you. Nowadays it's harder. But I beat that about him a while ago. And I said, whatever
I grew up around.
Like, yeah.
We grew up around Tyson Furies. I see those jokers every day. It's not new to me.
He got skills, though. I ain't gonna lie. He got skills, but his character, you know, I've seen it already.
Yeah.
Character, questionable character of.
Can I jump in here on the character assessment? Well, I think we've already established that Tyson Fury is willing to cheat. So his willingness to cheat, I think, and then also the company he keeps, okay, because, you know, birds of a feather, you know, and I really believe that. So I think all of that speaks to his character.
So looks like Deontay Wilder's out of the picture, and now it's a kind of question mark. It's a question mark. There's a question mark about Deontay Wilder. If Fury's complaining now that if he's complaining that he's going to be out, will have been out of the ring for 18 months, then I don't know, man. I don't know. We're just chewing it up. We're chopping it up.
You know, that's a built-in excuse. So if he can lose, he's trying to manipulate things. I don't know. He's probably a psychopath. It's a prior term for it. That's his way of always being in control. He's very manipulative, and that's the way he does things. So now they gonna say he used to everything going his way. Okay, so now you need to tune up. But Bob Arum ain't gonna allow that. They probably sue him too because they invested a lot of money in there. They invested a lot of money, so it's probably, don't be surprised if it's something with Top Rank comes out soon that he's gonna have to pay. If the fight don't get made, he's gonna have to pay back a certain amount of money. They're not gonna play with him like that. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna play with him like that. It's about money. If he gonna retire, then stay retired. Like the boxing don't revolve around one boxer. You know, you beat Wilder, okay. There's some questions on there.
Yeah.
If you're not gonna fight Wilder, it's like, what's up, bro? Like, what's going on? And then, and like you said, everybody got mental health challenges. You know.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And then let me say this too, because we know Tyson Fury is a good fighter, right?
Yeah.
And you ask yourself, why? Where does his mental challenges come from? Is he doing things that he shouldn't be doing? Because a lot of times when you do something that you don't forgive yourself for, it creates resentment. So what happens is when you got resentments, it can lead to mental health issues. Or another thing, because he did mention that he's like suicidal and things. So is he doing things that he hasn't forgiven himself for, or it could have been somebody done something to him that he couldn't have forgiven himself for? And I'm not a psychologist, but we all know resentment is very, very dangerous. So, like mentally, if he's gonna be like that, then he might as well not box because, like, what's up, bro? His mental health is important, but it is his job to fix that. But you got to ask yourself that: what is he doing, like, to cause his own mental health? Because you can say it's mental health, but he technically is responsible for his own mental health.
Yeah. Okay. So many angles. Okay. So one of the things I'll say is that this thing has been exaggerated. This thing that Tyson Fury is out of shape has been exaggerated. Tyson Fury is not a body beautiful, has never been a body beautiful. As a matter of fact, rat-tat-tat-tat, the only time he was a body beautiful, what the hell is that? Get out of here. The only time he was the body beautiful or could be described, no, pause, was maybe when he fought in the Christian Hammer fight, just before the Vladimir Klitschko fight. This was the kind of shape he was in. And of course, we know that he popped positive for the Christian Hammer fight.
Right.
But I don't buy into, where's this thing? There it is. I don't buy into this thing. Nevin, what is this? Tyson Fury. I don't want to play that. That's an interesting fight, though. Tyson Fury versus Nevin Pajic. Highlights. People check that out. It's quite interesting. I don't buy into this thing that Tyson Fury is morbidly out of shape. Tyson Fury is not the body beautiful. And let's not forget that before the Wilder Fury 2, people were saying, oh, Tyson Fury is big and heavy. He's going to lose. Listen, the man is not a body beautiful. He ain't built that way. He's pudgy. He's got fat mounds where you're not really supposed to have them, but it works for him. So I'm not buying this thing that Tyson Fury is grotesquely out of shape. And let's just play this thing a little bit here.
3 degrees. Yeah. 3 below. 3 degrees.
3 below.
I'm going in.
Uh-oh. Why the hell is it buffering? What the hell is this? The embarrassment. I pay good money for my internet. It's buffering again. Okay, it's probably because I've had that on the computer laying around for about a couple of days.
Rafi,
carry on.
Stop stealing your neighbor's internet.
3 degrees.
Hey, they steal my internet, bro. I charge them. Okay, let's try again.
Let me ask you this: if the fight with AJ don't happen, how do you think Tyson Fury, the media would treat him if the fight didn't happen?
That's an interesting point, because they're trying to say that in some quarters they're saying, oh, Anthony Joshua don't want it. I mean, England is kind of funny. It's kind of funny. They're saying, oh, I mean, Anthony Joshua clearly wants it, but somehow, I don't know, there's the common man. Some of the common men seem to think that it's Tyson Fury who's pushing for the fight. Anybody who is seriously follows boxing, certainly the heavyweight division, knows that Anthony Joshua has wanted to fight Tyson Fury since he came back, since before he went away.
Right. Yeah.
But it's all about narrative. It's not always about the truth. It's what you can sell.
Exactly, bro. Confirmation bias. I mean, It's so much confirmation bias in the world. It's ridiculous, bro.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So it's not just a question of truth, it's a question of perception. And there is a perception in certain quarters that Tyson Fury is the man who really wants the fight, and Anthony Joshua doesn't really. I don't know how that comes about, but there is, in certain quarters, there is that perception. So how would the general press, yeah, it would be bad for Tyson Fury. I don't think as good, as slick as he may be, I don't think he could worm himself out of that one. Because he could have fought in this. He could have fought Deontay Wilder. He doesn't want to fight Deontay Wilder again. He's drew with him once. He beat him up the second time. Deontay Wilder talked a lot of crap. He don't want to fight him no more. Fair enough. Looks like the contract expired. Fair enough. Then he could have fought Caballal in December. He opted not to. I think it's because the money was so small that he found it embarrassing. He didn't want that figure out there. He wants to project. He wants to falsely project that he is bigger. He's a bigger money earner than he actually is. So I think he turned down that fight, but it was foolish because now we're in the situation we're in. Let me just play this clip here.
Going in.
Okay, that looks bad. I admit that looks bad. That looks very, very bad. The love handles, the angle, it don't look good. But
yeah,
it don't look good.
And Anthony Joshua fight totally different than Wilder. He's not smaller. You can't just push him back and use your weight.
He's not going to bully.
He got a stronger.
He's not going to bully Joshua the way
exactly.
He
and Joshua throw combination, so it's totally different. It's still a 50-50 fight, but it's a totally different fight.
Joshua is not going to be there to get hit by the same punches that Wilder was getting hit with. He's just not.
True. But let's watch him. Okay, it looks bad, but it's not hideous. It looks bad, but people are saying it looks bad, but it's not as bad as people have been making out. He's what? He's about what? 20 pounds over? 20 pounds over? That's a training camp. He's a training camp.
So 20 pounds over what? His last fighting weight? Because last time we saw him, he was 260. So
270.
So 260 plus 20, what is that?
He was 270. I think he was 270.
He was 270 against Wilder in the rematch.
Yeah.
So plus 20, that's 290.
Yeah.
That's not a good look.
It's not a good look, but it's not heinous. It's not critical like people are saying. He's a training camp away from weight.
Now, also, too, it's not a good look, too, because remember, if everybody's watching him, if he was trying to do some PEDs, he can't really do it. Like his boy, the Gypsy, what's the other dude name? Billy Joe. Exactly. So it's like, okay, he really got to lose this weight. He can't do nothing to speed it up. So everybody is watching him, so he probably paranoid. I don't know, man. Hopefully the fight gets made, but
he ain't that far.
Listen, he brings up an excellent point that we were talking earlier about why this guy hasn't been active and that there's some facts that have not come to the light of day. And look, very well could be that the reason why a fight hasn't been made is because this guy is cycling off, okay? Or whatever it might be. It could be, listen, we know he's a cheater. We know that. That's not even up for speculation, okay? Yeah. So very well could be he's hiding something, he's masking something, he's cycling off of something. Who knows? Okay, but excellent points. Excellent points.
Lisa, you worried? You're quiet. I'm worried. Lisa's on mute. Lisa,
Shit.
You still there?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still there.
Okay,
You don't hear me?
You've been on mute. I put you on mute because everybody, when they're not speaking, they go on mute. You see, so I put you on mute. You're okay now, though.
Yeah, he could. Well, he should. He's supposed to be enrolled in that program. So
yeah, it's
but the WBC. So now that he's the WBC, and I'm sorry, Lisa, I didn't mean to cut you off, but now that he's the WBC champion, he's subject to a whole different type of scrutiny now.
No. It's the same scrutiny. It's the same WBC clean boxing program. Ain't no different. There ain't no different, and there ain't no different level of tiers for the WBC clean boxing program. You're either in it or you're out of it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, but here's what I'm saying. Prior to, he was not the WBC. I mean, he's never held a WBC title before. Right. Not until a year ago this month. So being that he was not like officially part of the WBC organization, that he wouldn't necessarily be subject to WBC rules and regulations. Where as the WBC champion, he has to now figure into the WBC's way of doing things.
There's the WBC clean boxing program. That's what you're talking about. It's the same for everybody. It's the same for everybody. The WBC way of doing things is basically you do your thing. Them like Deontay Wilder did his thing. Deontay Wilder didn't have to fight his mandatory for years. That's the WBC way of doing things. That's how it is. That's the WBC way of doing things. That, you know, it's whatever makes money. It's whatever makes money. You know.
Okay,
Let me ask you a question. Hey, Raphael, let me ask you a question. Can you name 3 to 5 things that you like that Wilder does?
Can I name 3 to 5 things I like that Wilder does? Okay, before I answer that question, we're gonna go. No, hold on. We're gonna go into. I'm gonna try. We're gonna go into what happened after happened after my last show. So what happened after my last show on Monday? Where are we? Wednesday. Okay, I had some American cats approach me backstage. You know, saying like the mafia. You know, they're saying, "Yo, Rafi, why you?" As a matter of fact, let me bring up the comments. I'm not going to show them on the screen, but I don't want to misquote nobody. And this ties in directly with what you just asked me, Jalik, what you just asked me. So I don't want to misquote nobody. So I'm going to pull up the comments. I'm not going to show them, but I'm going to quote them. I don't know what the hell's happened here, but there's been some big, long talking. I can't get to where I want to go. Okay, so forget that. I'll just paraphrase. Hold on. Yeah, I'm right here. Okay. So, I'm going to quote what they said. Okay. And this relates to what you asked me, Jalik, and I'm going to answer your question. But before I answer your question, I'm going to put some perspective on it. We're going to get some background on it. Okay. So after my last show, which was called 1 year anniversary of Wilder, what was it called? Of Wilder versus Fury 2. Hashtag RDCR. Hashtag Happy Wilder Day. Okay. So as you know, that was quite a funny show. Okay. Anyway, you all saw the show. And if you haven't, you know where it is. It's the Boxing Talk with Rafi. Or was it 2, 3, 4? Something like that. 2, 3, 4. Okay. So one cat approaches me backstage because we have a secret society. So one cat approaches me in the secret society backstage, and this is immediately after the show. So let's not get it twisted. Anybody who want to say anything could have come into the show. Link is in the chat. If they can't see, all somebody's going to do is ask for the link. So this was directly after the show on Monday. Yeah. So man could have come in to the show and had their discussion, had their say. Okay, so this black American cat, approached me after the show, and he says, it's Black History Month, and you got brothers celebrating the white man defeating the black man. So one guy puts his, the face emoji, palm face emoji, and then I come in. Lol, the brother is celebrating Undisputed. The black man didn't want to fight the other black man, and the white man came in and beat the black man. So now we get the undisputed fight that the other black man declined. Yeah, I don't think I've lost anybody there. Okay, so we continue. So what happened then? This other cat, black American cat comes at me. He goes, you know damn well you was just trying to ish on Wilder. You don't care about that. So this cat here is telling me that I don't care about Undisputed. So this cat must be a mind reader. Okay. My response, lol. I know damn well that we got Undisputed now. Okay. The same cat comes back. Ish. Just last week, y'all was talking about AJ shouldn't fight Fury because the company he keep. Now you want Undisputed. Boom. Idiot. Last week, I was saying that Fury in the company of MTK, that could bring some problems with advertisers, sponsors, etc. That's what I was saying. I never said I didn't want to see the damn fight. Another black American cat comes in. He says, "Shh, let the man drown himself." How the hell am I drowning, you imbecile? Drowning with logic because I'm using logic and you are not. Okay, so I respond, lol. I never said AJ should not fight Fury. We want Undisputed, and now we got it. Okay, next guy comes back. You on wax talking about that. You forgot me. No, nobody ain't drowning over here. And I'm on wax discussing the situation. Next guy comes back in. You said that the man is no good. And you're on some Columbo-ish. And how the guy is under investigation and AJ shouldn't do business with him. Now this guy must be a damn fool. Because I did not say AJ should not do business with him. So that's a pure crock of Undisputed is welcome. Keenahan, not so much. Question mark. Okay, so this cat here says, defending the white man during Black History Month. Shake my damn head. The next American cat says, he the guy putting up the money though, Keenahan is referring to. This former guy comes back in and drowning, brother, drowning. Does it sound like I'm drowning? My response was, if you listen to the show, I was far from defending Fury, quite the opposite. And no drowning over here. Okay, next man comes in. This bear in mind, this is 10 minutes after the damn show. So they could have come in, but they chose not to. Instead, yapping, flapping the gums after the show. Okay, this cat comes back in. I know. And now you're saying you want Undisputed. You flip-flop because he called you out on Celebrate. Now, this guy must be on crack. Because at no time have I said I didn't want any Undisputed. I've been saying I want this Undisputed. But okay, now I ain't gonna get into the real. What's understood doesn't got to be explained. It's cool. Blessings. Now my response. No flip-flopping. Undisputed is the goal, and it is here. Celebrate. P says mixed loyalty. That's what it is. The next American guy goes, facts. Me, I come back in with some logic. Law. Undisputed is what it is. Wilder didn't want it, so he stepped aside. Fury stepped up, and now it's on and popping. That's what it is. Facts. Okay, the next American man.
Fun of our American accent. What's up with that, Ron? What's up, bro?
What? You like my American accent?
Now you making fun of our American accent.
No. I'm doing his American or their American accents. I'm doing their American accents, and I'm not making fun. I'm just trying to let you know.
Yeah, I know.
It's all right. It's cool. It's cool, bro. It's cool. It's cool, man. It's cool. Okay, so the American comes in and goes, when the man, and by the way, whatever I'm saying is going to come back. It's going to tie in to your question. I'm going to answer your question. I just needed this to add some context. Now, when the man don't know if he black or a red, this is talking about me. When a man don't know if he black or a red coat, there's deeper issues. So I just said, "Lol, hilarious." Hold on, did they carry on? I thought it was over. Did they carry on? No. I think that's it. Okay, so the reason I went through all of that, was just to show that, that is just to show that people, some black Americans, they just cannot seem to handle the concept that Undisputed. People want Undisputed. Now, Deontay Wilder held up Undisputed. He didn't want to fight Joshua. Deontay Wilder could have fought Joshua anytime in the last 2 years. He didn't want it. Tyson Fury beat Deontay Wilder, and now it looks like we got Undisputed. If it's the next fight, that's great. That's perfect. If it's not the next fight, it's the fight after. Personally, I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be the next fight. I think Tyson Fury is just playing mind games, even though there is a little bit of fact in there. Okay, so what I want to convey, I'm going to answer your question, Jalik. What I want to say is that there are some Black Americans who just don't seem to be able to handle the concept that the world wants undisputed. The world wants undisputed. I don't know why some Black Americans can't seem to handle the fact Deontay Wilder wouldn't do it. Deontay Wilder wouldn't fight Joshua. But it looks like Tyson Fury will, and that's what we want. The world wants undisputed. Now I'm going to ask you a question. Encourages separatism. Yeah, the cat I was talking to is encouraging, but why don't come on the live? Come on, I don't understand why those people don't come on live. Listen, there you go. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. Boom. You know, it ain't the link is not secret. So why, when I finish, why do not come on the show and talk what you want to talk? Why wait until the show is finished and then come up with some little baby thing? Why wait until the show's finished and then come to me with some baby thing? Come on live and say what you want to say live. You know what I'm saying? Some foolish baby thing. Come on live. Don't be a punk. Don't be a coward. Come on live and talk that. Yeah, and I don't think that bell's gonna last too long because I hit it too hard. Okay, so to give context to your question, Jalik. To give context to your question, I understand that some of my American brethren feel that I go too hard on Deontay Wilder. I know that's why you answered me question. That's why you answered the question. It's fair. Some of my American brethren think that I go too hard on Wilder. Now here's the thing, Jalik. You know them channels over in America that hate Joshua, them Black American channels over there that hate Joshua, they won't give him credit for nothing. Well, I'm not like that. You asked me a question. You said, name 5 positive things about Wilder. And I, unlike them, I will do so. Okay. So I don't think I've ever had to do this exercise before, but let me write this down as I go along. Okay. So one has sometimes he has an effective jab. Sometimes effective jab. He didn't progress it like he should have done. But you know, up to a certain level, he can have an effective jab. Okay, let's write this down. Pen's running out. You know, that's Satan trying to interfere. Effective jab. Okay. Sometimes he failed against Fury, so it seems like it's dependent on the levels. Is everybody still here? Lisa, you're still there? You're still there? Everybody gone quiet on me? Am I alone?
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right, cool in the gang. Okay, so 1, sometimes effective jab, but it's all about levels. So I'm going to put levels because it failed him against Fury. Levels. Unfortunately, I have to add on that. I think his game's devolved because I was watching some of his old training, some of his old sparring with Filip Hrgovic, and I think he was better back then than he is now. I think he devolved his game, but that's a bad thing, so I won't mention that. So 1, he does have an effective jab sometimes, but it seems like it's dependent on the level that he's fighting. But okay, so that's 1. 2, another positive thing about Deontay Wilder, cleverly managed. Cleverly managed. AGED. Cleverly managed. He was very cleverly managed. They maneuvered him because I can't sugarcoat it. The reality is, I think that he was, when I say cleverly managed, I think he was kept away from certain types of fighters. He was kept away very cleverly from heavy hitters. Your Alexander Povetkin. Before him, Vladimir Klitschko, Alexander Povetkin, Dillian White, Anthony Joshua. He was kept away from those guys. But anyway, we're talking about positive things. So he was cleverly managed. What I'm saying is he was cleverly maneuvered to keep him away from a certain type of fighter. So cleverly managed. That's 2. 3, another good thing about Deontay Wilder. Well, obviously, he has one hell of a right hand. One hell of a right hand. One hell of a right hand. Okay, that's the third thing. Fourth thing. Fourth thing. Whew. Woo. That's a tricky one. The fourth thing about Deontay Wilder is that he leveraged himself. Okay, he leveraged himself very well by keeping Anthony Joshua's name in his mouth. So he leveraged himself very well. Leveraged himself very well by keeping AJ's name in his mouth. So he used AJ to build himself without having any intention of fighting AJ. So that's 4. 5. What am I saying about 5? 5. And put the link back in the chat. We got a couple of drop-offs. 5. What's the fifth good thing about? Okay, 5. The fifth thing about Deontay Wilder, it seems like he looks after his money. So I don't think he's going to be like one of these fighters who retires and then goes broke a few years later, living on Skid Row. Seems like he looks after his money. Okay, his money. And what's happened here? What's happened here in the chat? Jalik asked me the question and then fell off. Oh no, I hope he's trying to come back on because I went through 5. He asked me for 5, Lisa. He asked me for 5. Here. He asked me for 5 and I gave him 5, Lisa. What's your 5? Okay, we're gonna come to Kong in a second. But Lisa, what's your 5 favorite things about Deontay Wilder? Well, give me 3. Give me 3. 5's a lot.
Oh God, I can name 5. Got a great right hand. Got speed. He's still learning on the job. Started late.
Hold on, Lisa. But you can't do this thing with training wheels on. Once you become a champion, Deontay Wilder once said, once you become a champion, he's talking about Joshua. Once you become a champion, you got to take the training wheels off, Lisa. Surely you can't be learning on the job when he told Joshua that you can't be a champ with training wheels on.
Oh. I really don't get into all of that AJ and Wilder stuff. I'm really sick of.
Pay no notice to that. Pay no notice to that. Just do your list, Lisa. I'm just messing around.
Discussions, like it's just so tired.
Just give
not
me
from you, but
yeah.
I mean, he got a excellent right hand. He executes it with speed.
Yeah.
He's unorthodox. He's very passionate, about what he do.
Yeah.
As far as everything, because he's kind of passionate with how he speaks and everything.
Yeah, I'll give him that.
And what else? Basically, he stands by his word. Basically he came into this. Yeah, he came into this to feed, to help his daughter out.
Yeah.
Like any other athlete would to help their family out if they can, get that chance. So those are some great assets,
Of course. That's fair enough. I'll remind everybody before I go to Kong, remind everybody of my list, effective jab, dependent on the level of opposition. Dependent on the level, because when he went to the highest level, it didn't work. So that's 1, the jab, dependent on the level. 2, he's been very cleverly managed. They knew how to maneuver him. They knew who not to put him with, who to put him with, and who not to put him with. 3, one hell of a right hand. We all agree with that. One hell of a right hand. 4, leveraged himself very well. He marketed himself very well, using AJ's name. And he got some nice paydays after that using AJ's name. 5 seems like he seems like he looks after his money. Seems like he looks after his money. And with that, hold on a second. Reptilian lifestyles list is 1, power, 2, aggression, 3, speed, 4, what? 4, wide stance. Is that a good thing? Okay. 4, wide stance, 5, stamina. The last two are making me think that reptilian lifestyle, you're trolling, bro. Wide stance, that's a good thing? I don't think so. That keeps you more mobile than elusive. That keeps you stationary. Stamina. I don't know. You run out of stamina against Wilder. I don't know. But in comes interesting list. But in comes the man like the Iron Kong. Iron Kong is still he's here.
Where my brother at?
How you doing? How you doing, Kong?
What's up, Rafi? Peace, Ayaba, Lisa Bales. What going on?
Peace, Oba.
Yeah, man, we here with a wide stance. Well, I ain't got no wide stance, but Wilder got a wide stance apparently. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Seems kind of dodgy, but anyway. Lisa Bailey. I just muted you there. I just muted you there because of the background noise. But when you talk, just unmute yourself. You're good, yeah? Okay. So you're muted there, and when you talk, just unmute yourself. So that's perfect now. We got perfect sound quality. Iron Kong, come with it.
Yeah, I hear the conversation, about Wilder and all of that. You don't know how I feel about Wilder, man. Deontay Wilder is a fraud, right? I fully enjoyed that public flogging with the cat o' nine tails that Tyson Fury gave him. It was wonderful. If you want me to say something nice about Deontay Wilder, I like that, the brother came in, did what he was supposed to do, provided for his family big time. That's overachieving in life.
Yeah.
First off, he underachieved in boxing, but he overachieved in life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
so
true.
Congratulations to him. Big power. What else can I say? I mean, that's about all I can say, because the dude can't really box. Big power, provided for his family, and that's the number one thing. I support Deontay Wilder 110% for that, man.
Yeah,
made a completely better life for him and his family. That's all. But he not my king. He twerks. No king of mine can twerk, and none of that. So I don't want to hear none of that, Bridget.
Hold on, we need a hold on. I'm going to come back to you, Con, but we need a female perspective on the twerking because we've never had a female perspective on the twerking, and now that we have the benefit, now that we've been blessed by Lisa Bayliss on the panel, she's still muted, so that concerns me. I don't know if she's by a mic. When I see her unmute herself, then I know I'm going to unmute. There she is. She's unmuted. Yeah. So one thing I want to ask, I've never had a female perspective on the Deontay Wilder's twerking. I've never had a perspective on it. So if you just want to give me your perspective as a woman, how did you feel to see the man twerking? How do you feel about it?
I don't really feel nothing about it. I mean, it's just something he did, I guess, was amongst friends. So I don't really get into all of that. Like,
you're not offended.
Care less if he was twerking.
You're not offended.
I mean, maybe some people found it at the time. I mean, no, not really. I mean, people, they made such a big thing of it. And I guess because he's a public figure and was amongst people or whatever, but I don't really care, to be honest. I really don't.
No, that's cool. That's cool. You never moved you emotionally. You didn't feel any kind of way about it as a woman. You didn't feel any kind. Okay, well, that's good. That's good. That's a woman's perspective.
Oh, he can move his hips. He can move his hips now.
He can. Hey. He
can move his hips.
Okay, so we just had some female perspective on the thing. Never really had some female perspective on anything. So back to the Iron Kong, because we're coming close to the end of the show.
Yeah.
Well, we're almost there, actually. We're almost there. We're kind of wrapping up. So just shoot your shots, Iron Kong. Your feelings, your overall feelings.
No, well, the whole Tyson Fury thing, I said it in the chat before. Tyson Fury is going to fight. What he's really doing is crafting a narrative that he's inactive. So if he loses, it's, I was inactive. But if he wins, Look how I beat this bum 13 months off or whatever.
18.
Yeah, I mean, inactive. 18 months off. I did beat this bum. I mean, inactive. I'm the king. I'm the Gypsy King. Best in the world. Best ever. Right? He's crafting a narrative. He'll fight. But if he's really serious about, oh, he's inactive, hey, bro, whose fault is that? You and Frank Warren said Tyson Fury was the biggest draw in the world. Anthony Joshua was in the slipstream. But yet you couldn't come up with the dough to fight Ajit Kabayel. You know what I'm saying? So if he's really serious, that ain't my fault, bro. You need to come and get this work from Big Femi, so Femi can put you on the ground, you know, and you know we go back to Lagos, Nigeria, eat some egusi soup, and then thing. Yeah,
exactly, exacte mundo. Yes. I think we've done 2 hours of this shiznix. And I think
Raphael wants to thank you for having me on. Lisa, always nice to be around you. Peace out to the chat, man. Y'all have a nice morning.
That was the Iron Kong. Much appreciation goes out to the Iron Kong. And then there were two. I think we've chopped it up, Lisa. I think we've chopped it up, but there must be some things that you wanted to say that you never got to say. And this is your opportunity.
Yeah, hopefully they can sort this out and the fight will happen. And if basically if he gets a tune up, then I feel like AJ should get one.
If he gets a tune up, AJ should get well, if he fights in April, whenever, if he fights again, then Joshua's gonna fight again. But the thing that makes it inconvenient is if he wasn't gonna fight, then Joshua could have just fought Usyk. Instead of now Usyk's in contract negotiations. Well, I think it's going to purse bids. I think Usyk versus Joyce is going to purse bids. And so, yeah, that's an inconvenience. So that's why I don't think Fury's going to have a warm-up fight, another fight in between now and Joshua. Of course he may. But I don't think he's going to. It's too much ructions, too much complications. So I don't think I think Fury is playing mind games. Fury's playing mind games. That's what I think. He's been known for it. Even Mark Breland came out and said that Fury's mind games got into Deontay Wilder's head. And Deontay Wilder was kind of what we call over here rattled. Deontay Wilder was what we call over here rattled, unsettled. He didn't have his composure about him. And he certainly didn't look composed in that second fight they had. So I think this is Tyson Fury. It's what he does. In all his big fights, he tries the mind games. He tried it with Vladimir Klitschko, and it looked like it worked. He tried it against Deontay Wilder. Didn't work the first time. It worked the second time. And now he's trying it with Anthony Joshua. But somebody's got to snap his winning streak. Somebody's got to snap his winning streak with the mental games.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
and they always say Josh was mentally weak, but this guy was the one that had a breakdown. So I don't get it.
Yeah, it's the opposite. Yeah, I think it's the opposite. That's what they say.
I just think people when I realized that time, I think it was the first fight that Wilder and Fury had, and all those legends sat there at the table.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
was talking about Joshua. I was like, I don't think they want him to be the undisputed champ. That's what I picked up.
Yeah.
So
it was rigged against Joshua. He had all these
panels. It's always been against him. So that's what I felt from what I saw that day. It was just really weird. It was
weird. It was weird. It was set up. It was a setup. They set up the question with the panel. They had Evander Holyfield. They had a whole bunch of people. But to me, Joshua was the one that stayed strong when Fury was, at the beer house, at the whore house, at the curry house, at the crack house. And, Joshua was just on the grind. On the grind. I think he's the more disciplined of the two. He's the more mentally disciplined. And I'm looking forward to a great
he's
fight.
A better champion. That's just my opinion. He's been trying to do it as right as he can, I guess. So that's just always been my opinion.
Yes, yes. I
Not
hear you.
not emotional about this. I
No,
don't know these people. I could care less.
yeah,
I don't really follow these people like this. I'm just going by from what I have observed and watched.
yeah. For real, for real, for real, for real, for real, for real. Long live the king, Don King. funny, funny shizzle out there. Funny shizzle out there. Okay, Lisa. It's been you. It's been the fight doctor who came on. Disappeared. I don't even know if they said goodbye. Jalik, the leader, was on. Then you. Then Iron Kong. I don't think I forgot anybody, did I? I don't think I forgot anybody. I think that's the whole cast
Mhm.
of characters. And Lisa, it's been great to have you over here on your debut.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Ralph. Always a
Hey,
pleasure.
hey, it's been a pleasure. I've been seeing you out there amongst a lot of like ragamuffins. So it's good to see.
Yeah. I grew up watching it around Ragamuffin, so I'm used to it.
100%.
I'm used to the guys talking and crap,
Yeah,
I bow out when it gets a little bit too much. I just bow out because I don't want to
you know,
impose. Let the men be the men. You know what I'm
let,
saying?
let the ladies be the ladies and the men be the men. I hear you, Lisa. It's
Right.
been
And
a
I
pleasure.
bow out gracefully. You know.
That's the only way to do it, Lisa. The only way to do
Yeah.
it. Okay, so
Yeah.
much appreciation to you, Lisa. Anytime, you're always welcome to drop
Thank
on
you.
by at the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. So much appreciation goes out to the Lisa Bayliss.
Thank you.
Okay, and then there was one because there can only be one. Boom, boom, boom. So much appreciation goes out to everybody. It was the fine doctor. It was Jalik, the leader, who asked me for those 5 questions. It was the Lisa Bayliss, and of course, it was the Iron Kong who dropped by to share a few words. So we've done it. Went much longer than I expected. I thought it was going to be a short and sweet one, but it's a long and sweet one. You know what I'm saying? So much appreciation goes out to everybody who dropped in on the panel, everybody who took the time out to hit that share button, hit that super chat button. Much appreciation goes out to the James Jameson, who's contributed this week. Who's contributed this week? It's been a bunch of guys. I think it's the James Jameson. I think it's the. Hold on a second. Let's do this properly. Let's do this. Hold on. Why have I got 2 of them things? Why have I got 2 of them windows open? We only need 1 window open. What the hell is going on? I got more windows open than I actually need. Let me see if I can do this super quick time. Quick time. Okay, so it's the James Jameson. It's the Uncle Burnt apostrophe. It's the Aaron Daly. Yeah. All people who have contributed recently in the last few days, the Uncle Burns apostrophe, the James Jameson, the Aaron Daly, the Tone, the Leighton Evelyn, the Junior, and the Bronze Plumber. Okay, so it's those guys who keep this thing rolling on, as well as everybody else who comes and smashes the like button, smashes the share button, smashing all of the good, important buttons. It's much appreciated to all of you. Great live stream as per usual. Okay, much appreciating for the appreciation. And how are we going to finish this thing? How are we going to done this thing? Let's have a look. Why is that still up on the screen? What is going on? That should come down. Okay, so you are in tune to the Raphael Dawkins, the Combat Radio. It's the like, it's the subscribe, it's the comments, it's the shares, and it is the hitting that bell icon to stay updated with news and notifications. And don't forget about the live show. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. It's the Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio, and we are not so fast. Let's line this thing up properly. And we are out.
Let's drop the music and let Deontay Wilder play us out. It's the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio Show. You're welcome. It's Rafa Kids Comeback Radio Show on your interwebs and on YouTube and other platforms. It will spread like wild Mexican weed in the grass. Welcome to the Rafa Kids Comeback Radio Show just for you.